Hello everyone, my name is Kutay Tire. Today I am going to present you my Physics 101 experiment. The aim of this experiment is to calculate the loss of mechanical energy on an inclined plane due to friction force. The difference between the final and the initial energies of the system will give us the heat energy that will be created by the friction force. In the first part of my experiment, I am going to explain the relation between the mass of the object and the magnitude of the heat energy. And in the second part of my experiment, I'm going to explain the relation between the slope of the inclined plane and the magnitude of the heat energy again. So here are my equipments that I am planning to use in my experiment. So as the height of the inclined plane, I'm going to use these blocks, and the height of this bundle of blocks is approximately 30 centimeters. And this wooden surface is going to form the hypotenuse of the inclined plane, and again the length of this wooden surface is approximately 60 centimeters long. So here are my three objects that I'm planning to use in my first part of the experiment. So this one weighs 10 grams, this one weighs 20 grams, and this one weighs 30 grams. So an important note is that I'm going to use my wooden surface as the horizontal surface, and the kinetic coefficient friction of the wooden surface is approximately 0.2. And finally, I'm going to use a protractor to measure the angle between the horizontal surface and the inclined plane, and a ruler to measure the distance that will be covered by the objects. So let's begin the first part of the experiment. So in this part, as I said, I'm going to use three different objects with three different masses and an inclined plane. So the first part of the experiment is completed. The first object traveled 57 centimeters, the second object traveled 58 centimeters, and the final object traveled 60 centimeters. However, since the object with a mass of 30 grams had a higher potential energy and therefore higher mechanical energy, it lost more mechanical energy than the others. On the other hand, the object with a mass of 10 grams had a lower initial potential energy and therefore it had lower mechanical energy. So it lost less mechanical energy than the others. So all in all, the heat energy created by these objects is the highest for the 30 grams object and the lowest for the 10 grams object. So let's begin the second part of the experiment. In the second part, I'm going to use only a single object with a mass of 10 grams. However, I'm going to alter the slope of the inclined plane. So the second part of the experiment is completed. So in the first trial, the angle between the horizontal surface and the inclined plane was 30 degrees and the object traveled 56 centimeters. In the second trial, the angle between the horizontal surface and the inclined plane was 45 degrees and the object traveled 65 centimeters. And in the final trial, the angle between the horizontal surface and the inclined plane was 60 degrees and the object traveled approximately 80 centimeters. So in this experiment, we calculated the heat energy created by the objects during the fall. So in the first part, we learned that as the mass of the object increases, the heat energy created by the objects also increases. However, in the second part, we learned that the magnitude of the heat energy is inversely proportional with the slope of the inclined plane. So as the slope of the inclined plane increases, the heat energy created by the object decreases. Thank you for listening.